Which mic you want? This one not reaching.
I'll go with this one.
All right. Check it. About 4 inches away.
Test.
Don't speak directly into it if you can help it.
Okay, because then you can
Yes.
a little too hot. Gotcha. I need a guard.
Go ahead.
How about now?
I can talk louder than that, man.
All right.
This one's tuned down, way down. Hold on a second. I have it recording. All right, go ahead.
How about now? Jason Qualls. Is that better? You want me loud?
No, that's about right there. That's
Okay.
what the volume you need to be. I can adjust it, but
Gotcha.
I just never used that microphone.
What voice do you use? How loud are you?
All right, my mic's on. That was the other way. You ready?
I'm ready.
Welcome back to Financial Coaching Radio with you every Monday through Friday, 4 o'clock right here on WGNS, online anytime at financialcoachingradio.com. Of course, I'm your host, Jason Qualls, certified financial planner. Now in the house with Gabe Fancher, real estate agent. He has changed careers recently. A couple of years ago is the last time we met. Used to be on my side of the business, has made a career change. Now he's slinging some real estate. We're going to talk real estate with you, our listeners of the show. Talk a little bit about Financial Coaching Radio and my practice. Gabe, tell us what's up with your new business. It's not that new anymore.
Well, if you can't compete,
it's new to me.
Right? If you can't compete with Jason, then you got to go find some other way to.
I'm running everybody out of business.
One at a time. No, look, the reason I left is because your business is hard, right? I mean, like it's an intangible product. The payoff isn't for about 30 years normally when someone retires that they're going to have some money. And so with a house, I can give them something right away. They give me a hug and we're all happy.
What real estate organization are you representing?
I'm with Reliant Realty.
Now tell us about Reliant, what they do, what makes them a little bit different.
Sure. Let's see. Well, we're here in the Nashville market. They're owned locally, so they're not. I don't have to pay as much in overhead. And so, when it comes to real estate companies, I think it's the agent that matters most because we're the ones that are doing the most of the marketing for the homes. And so I love my broker, his Jimmy Burris, really popular guy here in Rutherford County, and he's really smart. And
he's been doing it for a while, right?
A long, long time, and he's got a great open door policy, and he's got a teacher's heart, and so that's why I chose Reliant.
How's listeners? If you do want to find out more about Gabe, there's a website, of course. What is that web address? How can people reach out to you with their real estate questions in case we spur any thoughts?
Sure.
We have not talked real estate in quite a while on Financial Coaching Radio.
You can always Google me and find me. I've got lots of websites, but my main website is mt615.com. It's M as in middle, T as in Tennessee, 615.com.
How's the local market? Probably 2-3 years ago was the last time I did a true real estate show.
Okay.
Inventory was low back then.
Sure.
Home prices weren't where they are today. I read something last week in Rutherford County up 15% year over year, something like that.
Well, it depends on where, real estate is super local. So it just depends on where your house is.
This was Rutherford County specific.
Well, even inside Rutherford County, when you look at some of the homes that are up in like Laverne and Smyrna, some of those have doubled in price since the last time you talked about real estate.
Hit harder by the financial crisis.
Further downturn, so bigger bounce on the other side of it, right? And so, we've recently had a reevaluation for the county has come in and reappraised all the property. And so some houses are way, way up and some are just showing some moderate change.
Cool. Where do you see inventory? Is inventory ever going to get better in Rutherford County, or is that by design? Are the banks kind of keeping a wraps on some of the financing with some of the contractors and the builders and the developers to control this so they don't get banged up once again?
Well, there is some limited money available to build houses, but we're seeing a lot of people come from out of town now, right? You've got the big row house builders, Lennar, and all just these bigger companies, Pulte, things like that have come into town. They got money, and they have money. They don't need any banks. But the issue really is that all the good land is gone, right? Like you try to dig a hole right now, you're going to hit rock around here. This is rocky top, and so that's what really slows down the land development. Is you got to get the rock out of the way.
What's the biggest real estate tip you got for those getting in the market as a buyer or seller for the summertime? Because I would assume, not that the market hasn't been hot for 2 or 3 years, but summertime's got to change things a little bit.
Right now, if you're in the price range of if your house price is going to sell somewhere below $300,000, it's going to move pretty quickly. And I would be very aggressive in pricing it and price it really high. If you're above the 300 mark, man, it's a whole different ball of wax. It's a softer market, and you're going to have a harder time selling it.
And that's pretty interesting because isn't the median house kind of in this area around 200K now?
It is, but it's climbing. It was a little less than 200K a couple years ago, and now we're about 225.
Will we end up like Brentwood?
Perhaps.
I think their median house is 400K, something like that.
Right, exactly. And so you're seeing the price per square foot really rise, and that's what I pay attention to, right? If your house, if it's a 2,000 square foot or less, you're looking at around 150 a square foot, or 140 to 150, depending on the quality of the home.
We're talking real estate and all things financial planning right here on Financial Coaching Radio. If you have a question, hit us up. Click email the show at financialcoachingradio.com. Switching it up a little bit. You brought your fancy video camera. You want to ask me some questions, maybe to help the listeners to find a little bit more about what this show is about.
Exactly. I've got a blog that I do.
And there's not many. I let folks come in here unscripted, so you know.
I appreciate that, Jason. I really, really do. And I'll be very careful about the questions I ask because I know that in your line of work, there are always people listening. But so I started a blog called liveinmurfreesboro.com. And what I do is I go around and I talk to my friends. I twist their arms into sitting down with me and letting me ask them questions. And so I'm going to fire off at you here. Just a few questions.
All right.
Why did you start this radio show?
Well, the main reason is at the time, which is about 2011, I was a big listener before all that of financial talk radio, whether it be one of the biggest ones that we hear locally or some of the ones that are more syndicated nationally that are less heard of. I just felt like the advice being given wasn't up to par with what I felt that real financial planners were doing in my field. So I started the show to be a more true representation of what personal financial planning was, not some watered down, oversimplistic, everybody gets the same thing type of radio show. And I also didn't want it to be a big sales pitch. I'm not trying to sell books or seminar tickets. I leave that to the other guys.
So you have a real heart for people to help them be better financially,
just
I guess,
get
right?
The information because, someone who either just starting out or maybe someone who's more involved in their financial planning, been doing it for a while, maybe with a different type of advisor, the thoughts of change start with the information. If the information's bad, where you're going to take that is going to be bad. We're just trying to provide the best possible information so people make better money decisions.
I see. So, well, let me back up a little bit. Where are you from?
I'm born and raised right here, Murfreesboro.
Really? No one's really born and raised here, right? Everybody moves here.
Everybody I know is from here.
Wow. Well, that's awesome.
We're trying to get rid of all you moving people.
Where'd you go to high school?
Riverdale High School.
And did you play any sports?
Baseball.
Yeah. Did you like playing baseball? Why not football?
It's probably a little too short. I don't know.
All right.
I like baseball, but my son's big time involved in it now. More involved probably than I was involved because the times have changed. We got the whole travel thing that really wasn't involved when we were kids. So I have to say that I like it because I'm still involved in it, 20 years later.
Does your son travel?
He does.
Is that a lot of work for you guys?
More money than work.
All right.
The work part is the easy part because that's the practice part.
I see.
But if you're involved and you enjoy it, it doesn't really seem like it's a stressful time. But it is time consuming as far as 3 or 4 times a week. But
Sure.
It's the financial part that blows people away. Someone told me one time, why don't you just save all that money that you're spending on travel baseball, put it into a college fund, and there's their scholarship instead of trying to invest in baseball and get a scholarship.
That's a good point. Very good point. What about, do you have any thing that you volunteer with? I know this is almost volunteer, the work you do here on the radio show, but do you have some causes that you care about?
I do not. I'm not the only thing with having a young child, as much as we're involved in sports, one time I've had many charities on the show. I guess you could say that's one way I could translate to that.
I see.
I've had Greenhouse on the show. I've had Dream Catchers on the show. I've had Murfreesboro Rescue Mission on the show. Right about Thanksgiving or Christmas is when I usually do a big charitable show. It is more just to promote them, get the opportunity for them to get a wider voice.
Sure.
Than they may not other have. And they don't have to pay for it. Not that they would, being a charitable organization, but hey, it's tough for them to get a spotlight on a drive time radio show, which I can give them on Financial Coaching Radio.
I
So
thought
any
for
local
sure somebody
charity-
would have you on the board. by
Any
now.
local charity is welcome to come on the show because, look, charitable planning is part of financial planning. So it gives the listeners to learn more about that type of planning, but also gives the listeners an area to highlight a local charity. That's what I care about. That's the great. Local charities. And I've been known that's where my donation dollars go, and that's where the show spends the time talking about those type of organizations.
Well, one more quick question, then I'll let you move on and get back to your show. What's your favorite restaurant?
I don't know, man.
Put you on the spot.
I haven't had a favorite restaurant in a while because in Murfreesboro, as you know, we have every single restaurant there is. But if I had to pick a place, I'm going to go somewhere local. Parthenon has been on my list lately as far as a place that I've went several times.
Okay.
I like the local feel. I like the atmosphere of it. And staying. And
that's a classic.
I'm a local business owner, so
Sure.
I try to do business with local people.
Right. What do you have a suggestion for anybody if they're going to go try out the Parthenon?
Well, I'm a steak guy, so that's normally what I get.
Okay.
I think they do have a bone-in ribeye, I believe. I have yet to try that, so we can all go down there together. We'll just leave the show.
Right after we get done here. All right.
Maybe we'll pick up another sponsorship.
Well, thank you for making time for me. Thank you for coming on my show. And yes, if anybody's got any questions about real estate, of course, I love that. But if I'm like Jason, if you're with a nonprofit or if you have a business, that I would love to get you on my blog. I'd love to sit down and talk with you.
Gabe, give him full name, contact information. Once again, if anybody has a real estate question or just wants to learn more about your blog.
Sure. Let's see. Gabriel Fancher. You can find my website at mt615.com. And then the blog is liveinmurfreesboro.com. And I'd love to help you with any real estate needs. Voice, man. You're awesome.